I didn't work today because
That's nice.
today is the spring equinox.
Today is spring equinox. Tell me about spring equinox.
Hmm. It's a time of rebirth and um
Growth.
like seeing the first signs of spring, and it's kind of like witchy Easter,
Oh, I like that.
and there's a big focus on fertility.
Who is behind you, like outside? Is that Andrew? Who
Oh,
is
it's
that?
an it's an Amazon person. We're getting our Amazon delivered. I'm getting a coffee table. And it looks like we're getting some other stuff too.
Girl, I was panicking. I was like, who is that?
That also startled me once I saw him. Delphine's on it. She's on it.
She's a good girl.
For those just listening, we there's a porch window behind me, and I always wonder about that. I feel like someday we're gonna be on Zoom and you're just gonna see someone staring inside, and it's
And
just
I'll lose my fucking mind. Accurate.
so I was planning on doing nothing today besides the podcast, but I ended up working anyway on the podcast. That's okay. It's just I'm gonna chalk it up to my Capricorn placements or whatever.
I accept that. Dude, how come all these fucking hairstyles in Pokemon are ugly?
The what in Pokemon?
The hairstyles in Pokemon.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen the ones for Pokemon Violet.
Okay, so hey witches,
Sorry, I was choking on rice. Can you say that one more time?
hey witches.
Hey, witches.
Today we are talking about it's not the one that started it all. It's not. But we're talking about a solid classic. We're talking about The Wizard of Oz today.
It was such a chore watching this movie.
Can you imagine how it was listening to the Wicked audiobook?
No. This movie's too damn long, and I forgot the Lollipop Guild and the Lullaby League and then all the songs. Like, there's so many songs. Like, I
I
knew there were
didn't
songs, but there's so many.
I didn't realize there were so many.
Oh, hold on. I took notes on my notepad. One second. All right. My first note on this notepad is, ugh, I don't wanna. I literally forgot that Somewhere Over the Rainbow is from this movie.
Oh, that's a good song.
Yeah. Um, and it also gave me, when she sings it in the movie, um, it very much gave me vibes of In a World of My Own from Alice in Wonderland. Didn't Morbid do an episode about the production of Wizard of Oz? Or is that a different podcast I listen to?
Couldn't tell you. I don't think they did. Wasn't there a wasn't wasn't there a like myth that there was like a dead body in the Wizard of Oz, like in the Munchkin land?
Not that I know of.
Hold on, I need to Google it.
Okay.
The Wizard of Oz's secret dead Munchkin myth explained. This is on the website Screen Rant, which is reliable. Okay, despite being regarded as one of the greatest films of all time, Kyla, how do you feel about that?
It's it's very influential because it was one of the first films when Technicolor was introduced, and it's very iconic. Does it hold up? I don't know. What I don't know if I would show my kids The Wizard of Oz, to be honest with you,
Okay.
but that's how I feel about that.
Ooh, Victor Fleming's The Wizard of Oz secrets, both on screen and behind the camera are numerous, but none are more infamous than the so-called Wizard of Oz hanging munchkin, urban legend, based on L. Frank Baum's 1900 children's fantasy novel of the same name, Wizard of Oz. It's been the subject of most controversy, especially since the strain is filming process exacerbated Judy Garland's use of amphetamines. What the fuck? It's widely believed that The Wizard of Oz contributed to Judy Garland's eventual overdose in 1969. However, one of the most nefarious tall tales surrounding the movie is that a lovelorn actor playing a munchkin hanged himself on set during filming. But is The Wizard of Oz suicide report real? Trigger warning. An aura of darkness and myth-making shrouds the production history of the movie, mainly due to the on-set accidents and substance abuse rife during the early years of Hollywood, as well as the movie's place in culture. However, the Wizard of Oz hanging myth is just that, a myth. The so-called dead munchkin urban legend stemmed from a specific scene that takes place around 45 minutes into the movie in which Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Man walk off in the distance while singing "We're Off to See the Wizard." As the trio is seen walking away, the left side of the screen appears to feature a human form hanging from a tree. However, the Wizard of Oz munchkin hanging from the tree isn't a munchkin at all. The silhouette is of a bird in the studio, and it's not hanging.
Well, that solves that mystery.
The hanging munchkin in The Wizard of Oz is actually a large bird. Several birds of varying size were borrowed from the Los Angeles Zoo and allowed to roam the indoor set in order to grant it a more outdoorsy feel, adding to the magic that cemented Oz as a staple of pop culture.
You
Another
know,
appearance of these borrowed birds is a live peacock outside the Tin Man's shack while Dorothy and Scarecrow attempt to revive him.
I don't
Uh,
remember seeing a peacock. Maybe I just wasn't looking very close. That's unfortunate for them that I didn't see this peacock because I
you
was just
should watch
looking
it
at the Tin
again.
Man. No, I'm not good. I don't think I'm ever gonna watch The Wizard of Oz again, unless I'm very drunk and playing a drinking game. So yeah, there's a lot of fucked up shit that happened on set and during the production of The Wizard of Oz, like the Tin Man and the paint that he had to use, like was not very good for his health, and Judy Garland was not treated very well on set. And this is why I think Morbid did an episode because Alina like hyper fixated on it as a kid, and so she knows a lot about it. And I'm pretty sure it was Morbid that just did a random ass Wizard of Oz episode. If I find it, I will look for it after we record, and if I find it, I'll send it to you.
I wonder if it did exist and I was just like Wizard of Oz and just
The I remember the episode being really interesting, but being a forgetful ADHD haver, I don't remember much from it. So I just know the thing about the paint, and I know Judy Garland wasn't treated very well. And I think they were giving her like substances to keep her working long hours. If I think that was what they were doing. Yeah, it wasn't great. She's a good actress, by the way. There's a few scenes where she's like crying. Like a good, I don't know, 4 or 5 scenes throughout the movie, and like she's a really good actress.
so amphetamines. What like I'm not up to date. I'm not educated on drugs. How are we defining amphetamines?
I don't know exactly what they gave her. I mean, amphetamines, I mean, Adderall is amphetamines. So,
What is an amphetamine?
all right. So an amphetamine is a synthetic, addictive, mood-altering drug used illegally as a stimulant and legally as a prescription drug to treat children with ADD and adults with narcolepsy.
Uh, 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 uh,
That was a sick beat.
Narcolepsy?
Yeah, I mean they use a bunch of drugs to treat a bunch of random shit. Like one of my antidepressants is used for epilepsy. One of my like my migraine med is used for epilepsy. I don't have
My
epilepsy.
yeah, one of my antidepressants that I'm no longer on was used to treat smoking.
Hmm.
And Judy Garland was treated like shit, and people believe that the way she was treated on set for The Wizard of Oz ultimately left to her untimely demise. So the Wizard of Oz, if you don't know the story about the Wizard of Oz, it is a girl who gets trapped in a tornado in Kansas with her dog, and the tornado picks up the house without damaging it, I must say. And then she shows up in this magical land somehow. Never been there. Nobody's been there. Nobody real. And then they go on this adventure. And then at the end, she wakes up from it all, and they're like, Dorothy, you bumped your head, or some shit like that. And all of the characters in this show resemble somebody in her real life. So basically, um, she was like fucked up.
I mean, if you want to put it in so many words, I mean, sure. Yeah.
This house lands, when it lands in this make-believe land, it lands on the Wicked Witch of the East in a place called Munchkinland. And I guess the Wicked Witch of the East used to fucking terrorize the Munchkins, from what I understand, that is. And the Wicked Witch of the West came and was like, You killed my sister. How could you? And then the Good Witch, Glinda of the North or something.
But first, there's fucking like like the durations of 5 songs worth of singing about how the witch is dead, and it's like, are you they were singing, are you sure the witch is dead, singing about it. And then like a coroner comes and he sings about how yes, the witch is dead, and then they sing some more about yay, you killed the witch, and then they sing more about you are so great, Dorothy, for killing the witch. And then there's the Lollipop Guild and the Lullaby League, and they sing individually to Dorothy. They have their own little verses, and like, dude,
So Glinda comes in her little bubble,
it's distressing.
and
Continue.
she's either from the north or she's from the south, but she's neither from the west nor the west east. The Wicked Witch of the East, she got dead. The Wicked Witch of the West, she did not get dead yet. Glinda pops up and she's like, Girlie, it's fine. She was bad anyway. We're assuming that you've never seen this movie. Um, and so they're like, you have to put on the red shoes, and then you have to follow the yellow brick road to Oz, and then the Wizard of Oz will take you back home, back to Kansas. And that's literally what happens. She goes and follows the yellow brick road, and let me tell you, this bitch literally, she starts in the center of this spiral circle thingy of the yellow brick road and the red brick road, and she starts in the fucking center and she walks in fucking spiral circle. She wasted like 10 minutes of her life.
And they're singing for those whole 10 minutes.
I can't even sing like one song. Like my voice is like stop.
Something funny that I wrote down that Glinda says when she's explaining, um, when Dorothy first arrives, Glinda's like, I'm looking for the witch that dropped the house on the Wicked Witch of the East. And Dorothy's like, I'm not a witch. Witches are bad and ugly. And like the Munchkins are laughing. And Dorothy's like, did I say something funny? Glinda's like, oh no, they're only laughing because I'm a witch. And she's like, oh, I've never seen a beautiful witch before. And the way she says this, she says, oh no, dear, only bad witches are ugly. And I don't know. Like after that, I kind of fucked with Glinda. Like I wanted to see a lot more of her in the movie. She was kind of a bad bitch. I liked her. I wish she was in the movie more. She's really not in the movie a lot at all. She's
She
in
just
like 2 scenes.
and she wears a big poofy dress and she flies in a bubble.
I don't remember a lot of my childhood, but I have a vivid memory of having a doll of her in like a plastic crown.
One of my best friends from childhood played Glinda when my high school did The Wizard of Oz.
One of the lyrics in the song, one of the many songs they sing, how Dorothy's so great about killing the witch. They say, "We thank you oh so sweetly for killing her completely." Yeah,
They, okay, if they hated her so much, why couldn't they just like murder her themselves?
because I mean, I don't know, she was probably really powerful or something. I don't know. And then they sing the iconic "Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch, witch, the wicked witch." After she kills the witch, she goes on the Yellow Brick Road, and then she gets to this crossroads because the Yellow Brick Road is no longer one path. It comes to like a fork on the road. There's a scarecrow and it's talking, but she doesn't realize it's talking at first. But then Toto barks at it.
That's Tony's name.
Tony?
That's his name, Toto. That's what his
Oh,
family calls him. That's what I refer to him as to Ziggy.
that's cute.
He is Toto.
This dog is adorable, but sometimes I think it's not a very good dog actor. Like there's this part where she's singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow and she's sitting and he's sitting next to her and like you can tell he's staring off camera at his guide or his whatever the fuck they're called, his person who
His trainer.
trainer, thank you. Yeah, you can tell he's waiting for a command instead of like I don't know, like it looks weird. Um but he's a dog. So I don't really give a fuck that he's a bad actor. He's also very cute. But I just have never seen that happen in a movie before with an animal actor.
Apparently,
Um
horse actors are like really good.
Horse actors?
Apparently,
Oh. Where did you hear this? About what movie?
a Tumblr post
Oh, okay.
about horse actors in general.
Oh, okay. I mean, I believe it. I don't remember what part of the conversation she's having with the scarecrow about this, but basically, like, he doesn't have a brain, right? And he sings this song called If I Only Had a Brain. And I remember this being the best song from when I was a kid. And, like, I was right. It is the best song. And I think he's the best companion. And he says this line in conversation. He says, "Some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, don't they?" And Dorothy goes, "Yeah, I guess you're right."
Hashtag relatable.
He's the best character, IMO. I like Scarecrow a lot.
See, that
Then
Tin Man, I think.
before that, they run into the trees, the alive trees that they try to take an apple from.
There's so much of this movie that I forgot.
And exactly, that's why I watched it, because I was like, no fucking way I remember this movie. No fucking way in hell. Because I knew if I tried to go into it trying to remember,
We wouldn't sit here looking like dumbasses.
so they try to pick an apple from a tree and like the tree slaps it out of Dorothy's hand. He's like, "What do you think you're doing?" She's like, "Well, I thought I was hungry and I wanted a snack." He's like, "Oh, she thought she was hungry." And the scarecrow starts talking shit to the tree. I don't know. There's some parts of this movie that are funny. I will not lie. But like there's not enough for me to justify ever watching this again. And then they run into Tin Man. He doesn't have a hat.
Then they go into the woods.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and this is where lions and tigers and bears is from, the phrase lions and tigers and bears.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes. And then he sings that. Oh, they meet the lion, the cowardly lion,
When
and
they
then song.
when they
I,
first see him, he goes, "I'll fight you with one paw tied behind my back." He makes me laugh too. I like the lion a lot. So yeah, the Tin Man doesn't have a hat, the lion doesn't have any courage. And then they're all going to Oz to get to see the wizard to get these things. The Wicked Witch of the West sees this in her crystal ball and she goes, "I'm going to cast a spell on this field of poppies that they have to go through and make them fall asleep."
which it's funny because opium comes from poppies.
And everyone falls asleep, including Toto, except for Tin Man and Scarecrow. Tin Man starts going, help, help, and Scarecrow's like, that's not gonna help, and then he starts screaming for help. And then Glinda makes it snow and it wakes everybody up, I guess. They go to Emerald City. Lion gets another song. Do you remember this song?
Yes.
No, you don't. She said yes, and she's shaking her head, you liar. It's I just wrote the
One
title
of
of the song.
I only remember one of his songs, and it's the one where he puts on the cape.
That's it. It's If I Were King of the Forest.
Oh, does he have more than one song?
Well, he sings because each when they introduce each of them, they sing If I Only Had Blank. So Scarecrow, if I only had a brain, if I only had a hat, and then if I only had courage. When they get to Emerald City and they're waiting patiently to see the wizard, that's when he sings If I Were King of the Forest, and it's kind of like out of nowhere, and I just wrote underneath it Jesus because it
You
was
know what? I like that.
it was
And
Oscar winning.
okay, question. When they do the intro for The Wizard of Oz, like the opening credits, you know how they do, there's the face, there's the seal, the design, and then the lion roars?
Yes, the MGM logo.
Yes. Is that the cowardly lion?
I don't
Or
think
is
so.
what if it was and they made him
That
do
would
that
be so
and they
funny.
made him do that little
That would be so funny. Why didn't they do that? You
because they're
should work
not
for
funny.
God, that would be so funny. Why don't you work for television?
I should.
I have a fun fact about the MGM logo. It's a lion in the logo, right? But they're actually using a tiger roar because they thought the lion roar was too like low and like not like intense enough, so they use a tiger roar instead.
Hmm. I think I might have known that, but I'm not sure. Okay, so they're in the Emerald City and they turn everything green because it's emerald and emerald is a shade of green.
Yeah, there's another fucking song. Oh my god. Two songs. Three songs? There's three or less songs in this fucking city. And like this isn't counting the interluding song. this this isn't counting the interlude songs where they keep singing we're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Like
Who
obviously
does that? Who does that?
fucking I'll start doing it, I guess. We got to bring it back. I sound so tired talking about this movie because I was tired watching it. Like I was like, this is 2 hours of my life. I'm never getting back.
Okay, so they go to the Wizard of Oz and the Wizard of Oz says,
I want the witch's broom. You want all this shit? And he talks shit to these people. He's like, he calls the Tin Man a pile of junkyard trash. And he talks shit to the other ones too. I can't remember what he says. He makes each of them feel bad except Dorothy.
and guess what? The Wizard of Oz is just a lowly man.
Yeah, but we don't find that out till later. But he's like,
Spoiler
okay, I'll
alert.
give you all this shit if you get me the broom. And guess
And they
what?
go to the castle and they find her. And she sends
Well,
4 monkeys after them.
yeah, okay. So something that's in the popular culture, I guess, is that everyone was terrified of the flying monkey scene as a child. Were you one of these people?
No.
I guess it was very traumatizing for some people. Sorry if you were one of these people. I can't relate. Um, Maybe you should watch it as an adult, and see how non-threatening these monkeys look. The witch captures Dorothy, and she is threatening to drown Toto if she doesn't take off the shoes. And Dorothy's like, "Take the shoes, don't hurt my dog." And she tries to take the shoes, and she's like, "Oh, I forgot. The shoes aren't going to come off of you while you're alive." So
Why did Dorothy put on the shoes in the first place?
she didn't. The Witch of the North, Glinda, she's magicked them on her.
So let's rethink about this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this was Glinda's plot to kill Dorothy.
Oh, shit.
So Glinda's evil plan all along was to kill Dorothy.
For sure. That's what we're going with.
Why does
Um,
the witch want her shoes anyway?
we never find out, actually. We just know that the shoes have some kind of magic power. And at some point the witch says to Dorothy, like, those shoes, you don't even know how to use those shoes' power anyway. Just give them to me. Dorothy's like, the Witch of the North told me not to. I'm a good girl and I follow directions.
Do you want to know a fun fact?
What?
I haven't actually checked this fact, but apparently in the original Wizard of Oz novel, the shoes were not ruby red, but they were in fact gold.
I heard they were silver.
Okay, let's
But
Google it.
well, I haven't read the book, so like, who fucking knows? Not me. I think it'd be cooler if they were gold rather than silver.
In the original book by L. Frank Baum, Dorothy's magic slippers are silver. For the Technicolor movie, costumers created ruby red shoes to show up more vividly against the yellow brick road. Well,
The only
no.
reason I know that is because I was reading an article about why the witch melted with water, and they quote the book a few times, and it mentions the silver shoes.
I've pulled up the Wikipedia page for the ruby slippers because I wanted to know how they're magic, right? Glinda's from the north.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's Glinda. It's like Linda with a G in front of it, not Galinda.
In Wicked, it's Galinda, not in like not the Wicked the book, but like the Wicked the musical. It's Galinda, and then it's like when your friend, their name is like a normal name, but they want to be called something else because they want to be cool. That's what she is in the musical.
You know what? That's probably just how they pronounce it, but it's supposedly spelled Linda with a G in front. Supposedly. When the Wicked Witch of the West comes to claim her dead sister's shoes, Glinda magically transfers them to Dorothy's feet. Glinda tells Dorothy never to take them off, as the slippers must be very powerful, or the Wicked Witch would not want them so badly. Maybe she just thought they were the fucking most bomb-ass slippers in the fucking world. Maybe she really liked Christmas and thought they would go nicely with her green skin. I don't fucking know. Okay, well, she captures Dorothy. She tries to take the slippers off, but receives a painful shock. The Wicked Witch then realizes the slippers will only come off if the wearer is dead. How does, how does, ouch, these shoes shocked me, correlate to she has to be dead before I take them off? That is
My
not, like, there's a lot of things missing in between those two things.
A lot of stretching, a lot of jumping going on.
Because if I tried to take somebody's shoes off and I realized that they shocked me when I tried to take them off, my first thought would be like, first off, what the fuck? Second off, I'd be like, oh, they must be electric. Like Benny and the Jets. Electric boots. Maybe it's boobs. I don't know. I don't know the rest of the lyrics because all I know is electric boots. And then like my third thought would be like, oh, there's a electrical current, but I would not immediately think, oh, I got chucked, but I really want these shoes, but they must be so magical that I need to kill this bitch before I can take them off her body.
I don't have any answers for you. My only guess is that she, for some reason, knew that she could have taken them off of her sister's feet when her feet were sticking out of the underside of the house. But then, obviously, the shoes disappeared, so she didn't get a chance to. For some reason, she had that prior knowledge. And like when she said to Dorothy, like, oh, curses, I can't take them when you're alive still. Like maybe like she's like, oh fuck, I forgot. That's my only theory for this to make sense. Because
My
otherwise it doesn't make sense.
thought was that she was just telling Dorothy that because she wanted to kill her, and that would be supposedly a justified reason for killing her, supposedly.
Toto escapes from the witch's castle and he goes to find um the scarecrow and the tin man and the lion in the woods, and they go to rescue Dorothy and they get on disguises from the guards that are guarding
Oh
the castle.
yeah.
And they put them on to get inside. And then when they get inside, like a moat draws up. So apparently there's a moat that they had to worry about, I guess. And then there's this very short chase scene. Then very shortly after the chase scene, the witch lights Scarecrow on fire because she's a bitch. And Dorothy throws a
Just a
water
bit.
bucket to put him out.
He's a
And it gets
bad.
on the witch. And
Oh,
then
I looked that up and it said apparently it was because it was an act of kindness.
I mean, like, I'll take any reason. I'll whatever. I don't care. The article that I found, I told you at the beginning of the article I found, it says, I was going to tell you to go read the book, you ignoramus, but then I realized the book isn't clear either.
Nothing is clear.
This person said like there's a few references to the Witch of the East being dried up, so like the Wicked Witch of the West would also be like inherently dry, and so the water would be bad. And like there's a quote from the book that says the witch was too afraid of the dark to dare go in Dorothy's room at night to take the shoes, and her dread of water was greater than her fear of the dark, so she never came near Dorothy when she was bathing. Indeed, the old witch never touched water nor let water touch her in any way. So, like, that sets it up, I guess. But it still doesn't tell you why. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. The bitch died.
Okay, how come if she's so fucking afraid of water, how come she had a moat around her castle?
That's a good fucking question. Um, I don't
How
know.
did she clean herself? How did she stay hydrated?
I don't know. You can't live without water. You have to drink water. I don't know. Yeah, she melted. She said, I don't
Melting.
think she didn't say what a world though, which I thought she did, but she didn't say it. They go back to see the wizard and they have her broom and they're like, "Hey, we got your broom." And he's like, "Oh, well, tough shit." And then Toto goes to this curtain and he pulls the curtain open and we see this man operating this machine. And he tries to pull it closed at first, like as if we didn't already see him. And he says in the wizard voice, he's like, "Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain."
The man behind the curtain was a basic white man, and
Yes.
the basic white man was disguising himself as the Wizard of Oz.
He's from Kansas. He came on a hot air balloon.
Listen, I'll bet he was compensating for something.
Something they call the wizard when they find out he's not the wizard is they call him a humbug, and he's like, "Yeah, I am a humbug." I'm like, "You know what? I don't know what the fuck a humbug is." So I just looked it up. It's deceptive or false talk or behavior.
Bah, humbug.
Yeah, well, I never knew bah humbug meant anything. I thought it was just the thing he said.
You thought it just meant, I hate Christmas.
No, I didn't think it meant that. I thought it was just an expression like go fuck yourself.
I need sleep.
Well, we're almost done.
Okay.
Um, so the wizard he has this big black bag. He gives a bunch of trinkets to the people, the scarecrow and the Tin Man and the lion. He gives a diploma to the scarecrow. He gives a triple cross medal to the lion, and he gives a thingy. That's what I wrote down to the Tin Man. It's like a heart on a chain, and it's like a clock.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
a pocket watch. It's like a pocket watch heart thing, and then he later like welds it to his chest.
I recall. You know what it reminds me of?
Mm.
Reminds me of like when you're in like first or second grade and like the teacher's got a box of like treasures.
Yeah.
Here's some dumb shit for you.
And Dorothy's like, "I don't think he's got anything in that black bag for me."
Says it more sad and more like 1940s Hollywood. I don't think he's got anything in that bag for me.
Pretty
That was
much.
really bad. That was really bad.
Close better. I mean, that's better than what I said.
I can't do accents. I can't do voices. I can do voices, yes. No, I can't do accents, including a 1940s Hollywood silver screen accent.
We find out that the wizard is from Kansas and he came in a hot air balloon and whatever.
Wow.
And he's like, I don't know. I don't know. He didn't come in a storm, I don't think. It was just a hot air balloon and like he went up and then like I guess he just kept going up and up and up in the stratosphere and he landed in Oz and then he got elected to be the wizard, which is like
It's a elected a profession.
I
He's an
guess.
elected official?
I guess. That's what he said.
Who the fuck elected him?
The people of Emerald City.
Are they stupid?
I'm no comment. So he still has the hot air balloon, I guess. I don't know how he got it to be functional again, but he has it. And he's like, okay, Dorothy, let's go. I'll take you home to Kansas myself. And he starts to go with her, but then fucking Toto jumps out of the hot air
Dumbass
balloon.
dog.
He jumps out and like she has to go fucking get him. And she's like, don't leave without me. And he's like, I can't help it. I don't know how to work this thing. And he fucking leaves without her.
That reminds me of the Amazon Prime movie, The Aeronauts, starring Eddie Redmayne and the lady that played his wife in The Theory of Everything, whose name escapes me. And she's a hot air balloon bitch, and he's a scientist. And she takes her little dog up on the hot air balloon, and then she throws him off the hot air balloon. Wait, wait. She does it. She does it for the cheers. She does it for the chaos. When he almost gets to the ground, a little balloon, a parachute pops out, and he is safe. And then he just runs off.
I feel personally attacked by this.
It's a really good
And
movie, I have to say. My mother hated it because she hates heights. She has a fear of heights. And there are quite a few parts where it was your heart got beaten kind of loud. Thump, thump, thump. And there were a couple parts when you thought that one or both of them were going to die. God, I want to watch that movie again. It was so fucking good. My brain is getting a little excited about that.
you can watch it when we hang up.
I can. Um, anyway, that's what
And
that
we're almost
reminded me.
done. So she's like, okay, yeah, I can't go home now. And then Glinda shows up and she's like, actually, you could have gone home this whole time, you stupid bitch.
All
And
you
she's
had
like,
to do,
yeah, all you had to do was learn the importance of home, basically, is what she said.
you gotta click
Um,
your heels 3 times and say, "There's no place like home."
and there's this really sweet, like, departing scene between her and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and the Lion. It's really cute. Like I said, like this is not a bad movie. It's not
Just
like it's a
to add,
iconic.
just to add on to "There's no place like home." It's not a crack house; it's a crack home.
It's not a whore house. It's a whore home.
That's right. Okay, so Dorothy goes back home, and we see her like on the ground or in her bed or something like that, with like a stupid washcloth on her forehead, and she wakes up
Stupid washcloth.
with like her uncle and her uncle and her uncle and her uncle and her grandma and her grandpa and her stupid ugly neighbor who was bitching about her fucking dog. And she's like, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there too, and you were there, and Toto was there. And they're like, girl, you're fucking whack.
They're
And
all
I was,
kind of going, ah ha ha ha, you're so silly, Dorothy.
but in the head,
And
they're like, she needs to be committed.
and she's like, you know what? And I learned there really is no place like home. And then like the credits roll and it goes the end on the screen in the old like 1940s way, and then the credits roll and it's over, and over somewhere over the rainbows plays, and it's great.
And
And
it's
when
the
she
Carolyn version.
and I do want to say like I this is a good movie. It's just not for me. Like I wouldn't show it to my kids. I think it's for all the good parts in it, there are like For every one good part, there's like five very boring,
Bad parts.
not bad, just like I could be doing anything else right now, and I would prefer that. And I just think that ratio is too big. You know, that's not the word I'm looking for, but you know what I mean. And I don't know, but I like when it goes from like the sepia to the technicolor and then back to the sepia when she wakes up from the dream. This movie gave me big Alice in Wonderland vibes, and I looked up when Alice in Wonderland was released and when Wizard of Oz was released. The Alice in Wonderland book was released in 1865, and the Wizard of Oz book was released in 1900. So there could be some inspiration there. I don't know. However, the Wizard of Oz movie came out before Alice in Wonderland, which makes sense because, you know, Technicolor and all that. So,
Should we talk about the witchy things? Like the broom, the crystal ball.
yeah. So next week we are going to be talking about the stereotypical fairy tale witch and all the implications of such a thing. For everything else that's in this movie, we got the broom, we got the fucking the crystal ball. We do see her grinding some stuff up in a mortar and pestle, but we don't know what it is. It's just red and powdery.
And she melts in water.
She melts in water. Glinda is technically a witch and she comes down in a bubble, so you could call that witchy, I guess. She has a wand, a big, big wand.
She do. One thing I do want to mention that's completely, not completely unrelated, but a decent amount unrelated, is that there's this theory that you can listen to Dark Side of the Moon backwards with The Wizard of Oz, and it will match up
What do you
somehow.
mean it'll match up?
Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, and it's supposed to it's like, I don't know.
What
It's
do you
some
mean it'll match up? Like,
on the Google, okay? There's an urban legend, and here are the steps. You insert Dark Side of the Moon into your CD player and press play. Once the album starts to play, press pause, then press the track rewind to take you back to the very beginning of the first track. You set the CD player for album repeat. Start the Wizard of Oz DVD, and then you wait for the lion to appear, and once he roars, hit play on the CD player, press mute or turn down the volume on the TV. Supposedly, the album and movie are in sync.
in sync? How? Like, what is that?
Not
What
like
do
the
they
boy band.
mean? No, I know, but like, what do they, what do they mean it's in sync? Like, also, why isn't it like the boy band? I would prefer that, I think.
There's a word that I'm going to try to say correctly, but I don't know if I'm going to say it correctly because I don't know that I've ever heard the word said
Okay.
verbally. There's an incredible synchronicity
Close? Yeah.
that could only come about had the band literally planned the entire album around the movie. Pink Floyd has denied the rumor outright for years, saying it's absolute nonsense. It has nothing to do with The Wizard of Oz, and it was based actually on The Sound of Music. Okay.
What? That's so random.
I thought you were supposed to play it backwards, but the theory is called Dark Side of the Rainbow. Apparently you don't play either the movie or the record backwards.
Mm.
Who the fuck figures this shit out?
People with too much time on their hands.
That's actually what the first article said. It says, if you've got time, snowed in for the weekend, want to get new entertainment from items you've already got in your collection, need to entertain a pack of munchkins but want a more sophisticated twist for yourself, test out the Dark Side of the Moon / Wizard of Oz urban legend.
So I didn't come prepared, but crystal balls are used for scrying, and I'm sure there'll be another witchy thing that I can talk about scrying in.
What is scrying?
Scrying is when you look into a surface, typically a reflective one, and
Crystal
you,
ball?
yeah, like a crystal ball or like a mirror or water, or you could scry clouds. You could cloud scry. It's kind of just looking for shapes and symbols, the crystal ball or a bowl of water. Typically, you will do it by candlelight, but not always. Like I said, I didn't come prepared, so I don't have all the logistics. I personally do have a crystal ball, but I haven't used it yet. I haven't owned it for very long.
Hmm.
It's an obsidian crystal ball. It was a gift from a friend. And with that, you would want to do it by candlelight because it's a black sphere. Anyways, you're basically looking for messages the way you would like with tarot, but like more mysterious. And you got to remember that like tarot is my shit, like that's my field. So like divination and other forms, I'm aware of them, but like I'm no expert.
I'm on the Wikipedia page for Judy Garland.
Mm-hmm.
You know that Liza Minnelli is her daughter?
Oh yes, I did.
Guess who did not?
Well, based on your tone.
Me. She also was married 5 times.
I didn't know that. But I mean, a lot of celebrities do be like that.
She also was born in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, not Michigan, died in London, and had her body moved to Hollywood. She was born in a house, not a hospital, and she was 47 when she died. Oh, also, I want to mention, I believe 1 year for Halloween, I dressed up as Dorothy when I was
Cute.
a child.
Okay, final thoughts on The Wizard of Oz.
It's a classic.
It's iconic. It deserves all the praise that it gets.
Big fan of the lion.
For me, it's like a 3 out of 5, maybe with a heart. Like it does make me laugh. I think the characters are very lovable.
Could you imagine if it was remade today?
I would rather, okay, that's the thing, right? Because like
Wicked is being made into a movie.
that's the thing is that like I don't want it to be remade, but like I have so much like so many issues with the original, but I don't want it to be remade.
See how the Wicked movie is.
I saw Ariana Grande post just like the logo Wicked. Is that's the for the movie?
Probably.
I wasn't sure if she was like doing a run because sometimes celebrities will do like musicals. Like Brendan Urie did Kinky Boots.
We're gonna look it up.
I can't imagine Ariana Grande playing like the sister or Alphaba.
Oh
Don't
no.
say she's playing Alphaba.
No. Oh, here we go. Michelle, I don't know how to say her last name.
Pfeiffer?
Yao? Yo?
Yo.
Michelle Yeoh is playing Madame Morrible, who is like the headmistress lady.
Oh,
Cynthia Erivo is playing Elphaba.
who?
Cynthia Erivo? Jeff Goldblum is playing the wizard.
Ah!
Ariana Grande is playing Glinda.
I mean, I couldn't imagine her playing anyone else. Who's playing Nessa?
Marissa Bodie.
I don't know who that is. I don't know.
Uh,
I'm looking up Cynthia Erivo right now, and I don't
Kiala
recognize her.
Settle, who played the bearded lady in the circus show that the X-Man was in.
The Greatest Showman?
That's the one. Thank you.
I haven't seen that.
It's a very good movie. I just could not fucking remember what it was or who the X-Man is. Um,
Hugh Jackman.
thank you.
He's the
Um,
X-Man.
he's got a pardon as well.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm kind of bummed about Ariana Grande being Glinda, but she did do a cover of Popular with Mika
Yes, and I
back
really
in
liked it.
2009 or so.
Yeah, it wasn't like an actual cover though. Like it was like a remix, like pop song.
Yeah,
Like it
it
was
was
like
like a
if I was
proper,
popular.
and it doesn't have this, I don't think it has the same name
It
either.
it's called Popular Song.
There we go.
Yeah. I do like that song. Like I think it's really cute and fun.
Popular from the musical is a fun song.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe, okay, so here's the thing. The cast is very diverse, and I'm glad that it's a diverse cast. I'm not the biggest fan of Ariana Grande's voice because she does a lot of like vocal roller coasters.
Yeah. I love
Uh,
Ariana. But
and
I
I don't
think
Oh, vocal roller coasters.
But I feel like they're not gonna let her do that many in
That's what I
this. And
was thinking.
if they do, they're fucking up. So,
Like, the music from Wicked is fantastic.
yes, don't
Okay,
change it.
I don't want them to change the music.
I
They
think,
can tweak it for
yeah,
like each person's voice and like what their strong points are.
yeah.
But I don't think Ariana's strong points are her vocal roller coasters. She has a strong voice. She can go high, she can go low. Can she go low?
Yeah, yeah.
Assuming
Not
she can go
super low,
low.
but like normal low.
Like Taylor Swift can go low. Taylor Swift can go high.
I think the reason Ariana was picked for Glinda is because she can do those whistle tones, and Glinda goes
Yeah,
very
Kirsten
high.
Chenoweth. Yeah.
I can't think of anyone else that I would like dreamcast as I can't think of anyone I would dreamcast period as Glinda because I feel like Kristen Chenoweth was just like so perfect. I know this isn't the Wicked episode, but like you're gonna listen to it anyway. Sorry.
I'll share my thoughts on Kirsten Chenoweth later.
I'm so excited for Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. Listen, I don't use this term lightly. I never use this term. Never, ever, 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 ever. But Jeff Goldblum is daddy.
I love him.
Like,
He's perfect.
here's the thing, daddy is cringe term,
Oh, for
but
sure.
it's Jeff Goldblum. And
He
Jeff
is.
Goldblum in and of himself. Okay, his personality is cringe, but in like the most lovable way.
But
Like,
like he has raw sex appeal
and
somehow.
you're just like when he's making a stupid face, like, but I make a stupid face like that, and you're just like, what the fuck climbed up your asshole? Jeff Goldblum can be as cringe as anything ever. He can be as cringe as me in seventh grade, and he will never be cringe.
I've never met someone who doesn't like Jeff Goldblum. I'm so excited to hear him sing the songs that the wizard sings.
And he sings too. Have you seen him in that Disney show? Jeff Goldblum versus the world or whatever?
No. I know he
He
can sing
sings.
though.
He just like it just comes out of him like he's a songbird. He just like tra-la-las as he's speaking. It's Jeff
Yeah.
Goldblum.
Yeah, well, he's perfect.
My friend Brenna, who is our patron, her family has a Jurassic Park themed yard,
Mm.
a Jurassic Park themed vehicle, and Jeff Goldblum is in their bathroom massively on their shower curtain.
I love that for them. When
It's
you
a
say they have a Jurassic Park themed yard, what do you mean by that?
like Halloween comes around and they're like, let's turn this into Jurassic Park.
Oh, so it's not like that all year round.
But they have a dinosaur all year round. I'm
Oh,
pretty
okay,
sure.
okay.
And like the thing is, like, I'm so used to living in like a homeowners association type place or like in an apartment somewhere where you can't have decorations outside and being like, you can't keep a dinosaur in your front yard all year round. No, it has to be taken down by November 1st. Bullshit. It's not like that in real life. You can have a fucking dinosaur in your front yard if you want to.
There's this girl on TikTok who had,
The geese.
yeah, the geese. What were the geese do? What was unique about the geese? I can't remember.
It was like mannequins, but like goose
The
head.
geese women. The geese women. Yes. This person on TikTok had these geese women mannequins in their yard and they were getting complaints from the HOA and like she was getting petitions signed to keep the HOA like off her back. But like she did every once in a while have to take them down, but I don't know what the current status is on that.
I'm looking.
A lot of the tangents we're on towards the end of the podcast are gonna stand. I feel like they're relevant.
Son of a bitch.
Guess we'll
I
never
can't
know.
find it.
Let me try. Although I feel like your research skills are way better than mine, so if you can't find it, I think we're kind of fucked.
Found it. The duck mother is her username.
Oh my god, this is posted on r/TikTok cringe. That's so rude.
It's not
That is,
cringe, okay?
it's not cringe. Are they allowed in her yard as of right now?
Don't know.
Damn.
Hey, listeners, find out if they're allowed in her yard. Because I don't feel like finding out right now.
Oh my God. Okay, we said our thoughts on Wizard of Oz. We talked about Wicked and Jeff Goldblum for a little bit. Is there anything else we should talk about? Because we're gonna talk about the fairy tale stereotypical witch next week. Spoiler alert. Is there anything else we should touch on before we leave?
About a month from today, I'll be taking 5 days off in a row, and I can't wait, and that's all I need to brag about.
Hell yes. And I have vacation next month, and I'm so excited for that. So, yay us.
Follow us on social media.
Let us know what you think by leaving a review. Our social media handles are at Movie Witch Pod and at Movie Witch Podcast.
If you want to send us anonymous love, but not anonymous hate, because we won't accept that, you can send us an email.
You can at the Movie Witch Podcast at gmail.com. If you like what you heard and want to help us grow and improve, please consider supporting us on Patreon for $2 or $7 a month.
Maybe one day you might be able to hear my dog make cute little noises.
Our Patreon benefits include getting episodes a week early, unedited video versions of episodes where you can see our pets and our rants and our tangents and
Kaya vibing.
Kaya vibing.
Just that was the entire episode. Like,
And
I
also the man that was outside my window.
have this antibiotic ointment or some shit, and I've just been like pushing it all over my face. The tube,
The
not the actual ointment, just like the yellow tube, and it's just like
the
I'm just
ADHD do be ADHD and
I'm thinking about that TikTok, the ADHD.
Oh, you also get exclusive Patreon bonus episodes. That's it.
Hi, witches.
Bye, witches. Jesus.